Transits. Transits are what the current planets are doing as they move around the universe at the moment, and how they activate parts of your natal chart, which is what kind of causes us to have certain experiences and certain lessons at certain times. So, we talk about, I went through this stage where, like, this happened, or I went through this phase where, everything went wrong and I got fired and I broke up and, these sort of things. We tend to go through phases, we tend to go through cycles, or we tend to have a month or a year or something where we're really focused on one thing or feeling like a certain way, positive or negative or both or whatever. And those things are our transits. That is when different parts of our natal chart are being activated to show up and to work on, or to focus on for a while, or to experience. So when I talk about the current transits, I'm talking about the sun, I'm talking about the moon, I'm talking about all the planets that are moving. And so when it's almost like they're orbiting here, and here is your natal chart, here is the blueprint of your life. So as all the planets go on their orbit at all their different speeds around the universe, they're stopping over the same places where some of your natal chart placements are, and they activate those. So what we call a solar return each year, solar being the sun, of course, is when the sun returns to the sign and degree that it was in when you were born. So if you have a sun at 14 degrees Gemini, each year when the sun reaches 14 degrees Gemini, that would be your solar return, as we would call it. But that also means the transiting sun is conjunct your current sun, which is why on our birthday every year we tend to think about ourselves, we tend to think about how we're aging, what it is we want for the year ahead, how we feel about the people around us, all those sorts of things, because the sun, of course, is about highlighting and giving structure and focus and clarity, is highlighting our identity. So whatever the sun is transiting over is showing up different aspects of your life. So it's interesting, I always think, to look back over the last couple of years and see is there a certain time every year when maybe you tend to feel low of energy? Is there a certain month that you love every year? And have a look at where the sun is whenever that happens. And something else that's really interesting as well is, by the way, I know this all might be, the transits and aspects, like I said, tend to be fairly complex. So if all this is kind of pickling your brain, it's not something that you have to know off by hand or anything like that. It's just something that's interesting to keep in mind. So, when we talked about the ascendant, right? The ascendant is the first house of the self, of energy, of your life force. And of course, the 12th house is the final house. So that's the house of endings, of the void, of what's beyond life, of kind of being in utero or planning or waiting, all those sorts of things, dissolving. So that is, of course, the 12th house. So whatever sign your ascendant is in, of course, is your first house. But each year, when the sun transits your 12th house, so whatever sign is before your ascendant sign, so if your ascendant is Capricorn, then your 12th house is Sagittarius. If your ascendant sign is Taurus, then your 12th house is Aries, because it's the sign before. So each year when the sun transits through your 12th house, this is the end of your year. This is the end of your energetic year, because it's highlighting the integration of lessons, it's highlighting rest, it's highlighting endings. So I always think whenever the sun is in your 12th house is a really good time for a timeout each year. So for a social media detox, for a holiday, for more sleep, for more rest. Because as the sun moves over your ascendant and wakes up your first house, then you'll want energy, you'll be remotivated, you'll be ready to take things on again. So that's an interesting transit to look at as well. And oppositions are another thing. So we tend to have a difficult month or a difficult sort of time frame when a planet is transiting opposite one of our planets. So, you might have a moon in Pisces, And so when there's a planet in Virgo, which is the opposite planet to Pisces, you may feel that your moon is not really allowed to express itself as much. So say when Mars transits Virgo every couple of years, you might find yourself being drawn into more debates, more arguments, that type of thing, because Mars, which obviously rules energy and motivation and conflict amongst other things, is opposing your moon. So it's pulling away from your moon in order for you to grow or learn a lesson in some aspect. So this is how we as astrologers can predict things or time things or pick the best time to do something. So without getting way too complex, I think it's, to start with, work out whatever your 12th house is and take that time each year to have some downtime, definitely have some social media downtime, and listen more to your soul, listen more to your intuition, because that is that's your recharge point of the year. And say when the sun is traveling through your 6th house or your 10th house, those are great times to make changes as far as work goes, or whatever planets are in your 6th house or 12th house, 10th house rather, because they rule work and your daily routine and your career. They're a great time to start something new around work or around your job or around whatever it is that you want. And, you know, if you want some romance, trying to bring some love into your life, looking at when there are planets in your 5th or 7th houses, or when they're aspecting your Venus. So whenever the sun is over your Venus each year is a great time to go out, it's a great time to meet people, it's a great time to make a pitch or a proposal, because of course your Venus represents you as a woman, your creativity, your attractiveness, your appeal, your self-esteem, all those sorts of things. And the sun is lighting that up and energizing that. So it's a great time to go on a date or to make a pitch or a proposal or seek funding for something like that. So those are the transits. The transits are when the current planetary movements make aspects to parts of our natal chart and light them up and give us some time to focus solely on that planet or that placement in our lives to create something really amazing. So if you follow me on social media, I know most of you do, you've probably noticed that over the last 4 weeks I haven't been as active on social media. I've kind of been taking time out and not appearing, not posting, and that's because the sun has been in my 12th house. So that is my downtime every year, to meditate every day, to sleep more, although I haven't, I've just been working every day like a madman, but and also to pack up. So I'm actually moving to a different country for a working opportunity through this work, which is exciting, in a couple of weeks. But so this 12th sun in my 12th house, as the sun has moved through Aries and the early degrees of Taurus before it reaches my ascendant, the first house, has been the ending of an era, and I've just been kind of letting it happen and resting and recouping before we begin the next new adventure. So you'll notice, when you start to take notice of the transits, you'll notice that certain things tend to happen at certain times each year for you. And that is when certain planets are aspecting parts of your chart through their transit. So really, really fascinating. So that is aspects and transits. Of course, they are a bit complex. If you need any more explanation, you know, just ask. I'm happy to help, because I know they can be a little bit tricky to get your head around. Of course, I will post some questions and more information over the next couple of days, so that you can source any more information about any of the planets that you would like to. I wanted to say as well, obviously I'll keep in contact and I'll organize our Skype sessions as well to catch up about your own charts, but I really wanted to say thank you so much. I've really had some really amazing conversations with you all over the last couple of weeks. Everyone has really picked everything up. Even, you know, some of you are worried about being a little bit behind, but it's an emotional kind of journey. It's your spiritual toolbox. So it's not just memorizing how to do something or memorizing what something means. It is hard work, because you're going back through your life and going, well, what is this pattern, or how did that turn out in my life, or what is it that I want from this, or what am I capable of, or those types of things. So I just really wanted to say thank you so much. I've been really, really impressed with the feedback. I've been really impressed with your responses and your answers and your thoughts on things. And no, it's really honestly been fantastic. So I will post this now. Chiron and Mercury are coming soon as well. And then over the next couple of days, I'll have some more information. And then we will organize your Skype sessions as well. So have a fantastic week, and we'll speak soon. Bye.